Hi, I'm Harold Peterson of Lucid IT. I'm one of the founding directors of the Lucid IT organization back in 2001. And in 2006 I came to Asia, where I've become director of Lucid IT Student at Berhard over here. Not only am I a director of the organization, but also principal consultant. And what that means is that I help my customers achieve real cultural change and transformation in their IT department. I'm a trusted consultant in the area of implementation of service management, IT governance, and PMOs and project management best practices. Strategic direction and governance of technology is really something that should be within the realms of the CIO, but also the executive business team. So it's even, of course, of the interest of the CEO and the CFO. And obviously the team that reports to the CIO is also involved in the direction of technology. Now, what really is governance and IT direction? First of all, the term governance means many things to many people, but let's just keep it simple for now. On the level of CIO and on the level of CEO, in reality, you're not that interested exactly how many calls came into the service desk, and you don't need to have an exact insight in whether a particular call took a day longer to solve than another particular call. You're not interested in all the detail because you simply cannot manage that level of detail, and you need to look at the big picture and the priorities. Now, governance mechanisms are all about, let's make sure that there are control objectives for all the key areas of IT. So those are the key areas in the build space: build new solutions, change the business, and key areas in running technology. Now, in building new solutions, as a CTO, CIO, CEO, you want to make sure that you have consistent insight in what is my portfolio, what are the risks, what is the benefit realization, and what is the progress. In the run side of technology, you want to have clear and consistent insight and regular checkpoints around control objectives, around how well is my support going, how well are my service levels going, how well is my risk and security managed, and what is the current situation. Okay, now this is where COBIT comes in. COBIT stands for Control Objectives for IT, and it really provides an umbrella of control objectives that gives you a level of governance and control on CEO, CIO level. So with that umbrella of control objectives, you can say what needs to be under control and what are the levels that we need to control it in our organization. So that's where COBIT comes in. It helps you to understand where you are now. Based on that, it can help you to direct improvements and to direct your organization, and it can help you to govern your IT organization. Of course, it will only really work if it's underpinned by the how. How do I improve things, and how do I achieve that level of control? Now that's where Prince 2, P3O, PMP, MSP comes in the build space, because those methods will tell you, how do I manage risk in the build? How do I manage projects, programs, portfolios? In the run space, methods such as ITIL, or best practices such as ITIL, and also standards such as ISO 20000 helps you with the how of controlling that run space. So this is how COBIT really works together with those other methods. What is really useful for CIOs, we find, is our service of a COBIT calculation assessment, where we can help a customer to do a very quick self-assessment of their current level of control in all the different COBIT areas. Based on that, they can define which gaps they would like to close and which areas they would like to improve. So that's a very powerful and swift method of understanding your current state, you could, for example, also use that pre-audit, because a lot of IT auditors use COVID to audit their customer environments. However, just a calculator and just an audit is not going to help you. It's easy enough to do a mapping of the current state, or to even do an audit of the current state, write a report of everything that needs to be improved. What's really difficult is to make that change, transform the organization, the how. So that's where the governance is one thing, but then implementing the improvements and achieving the benefits and closing those gaps, that's where the real challenges lie. Once you achieve some improvement with that, a new COVID assessment can help you to demonstrate those improvements on the level that means something to CEO, CIO levels for their further direction of IT improvements. So what is our ITIL simulation game, and why did we actually create an ITIL simulation game? Well, let me start with that first point. Why is it useful to have an ITIL simulation game? Well, one of the great things, but also one of the disadvantages of the great upsurge in ITIL, is that these days any IT service management person wants to and needs to be certified on ITIL foundation level. So one of the unfortunate things around that is that the market has moved towards a situation whereby more and more people need to achieve their foundation certificate crammed in a 2-day training course and an exam on day 3, where they need to learn a lot of terminology, a lot of framework, and a lot of preparation for exam questions. Okay, well, it's great to all speak the same language and understand the ITIL terminology and the principles. That's a great thing. But that doesn't mean that you're able to understand what it means to make real change, real transformation, even in as simple as a service desk improvement. That's where our simulation comes in. Because obviously we do what our customers want us to do, and that is get them ready for the exam. In fact, our exam pass rates are unrivaled. But we also realize that before we train people to get ready for the exam, they don't have that much interest in all the additional stuff. So what we do in our training courses is, first we train them to get ready for the exam, then they'll do the exam, and then we have half a day left where we translate all that theory into a practical situation and give people some key learnings to understand what it really means to implement ITIL amongst a group of people. For that group to be small or big, local or regional, they get a sense of what it really means. Now, in our evaluation forms of our training courses, invariably there is a fairly large percentage of people that makes a remark that simulation was the highlight of the course. Why is that? Well, in the simulation we create a simulated service management environment with 3 organizations that work around a game board. And believe it or not, in those 2-3 hours of simulation, we create a situation where people get experience the real emotion, the real experience that a customer of a service organization may feel, and the stress that a service provider may feel. So what are the 3 organizations? Well, the first organization is a railway company or train company that provides train services in transporting passengers as well as cargo from one place to another place. Another company is a company that provides the infrastructure. What we simulate in our ITIL simulator is the challenges that people experience in a freight business, a railway train company that transports passengers and freight. Now, they are the customers in that simulation, and then there are service providers in that simulation. These people in those different teams, even in one room with only 16 people, they will go through the real challenges that your business people will go through. They achieve similar emotions of, my train is not working, or my railway is broken and I cannot get through. And the support organization goes through the similar challenges of dealing with stressed out and angry customers, and dealing with technology challenges to resolve issues for the customer and make services available for the customer. So we create a situation around a game board where people go through all those motions in a game situation. Then at various intervals in that game, we will do a continual service improvement round where we look at what happened in the last half hour. Which things were good, which things were not so good. Which things do we need to improve, and how can we implement a simple process in these few teams that we have in one room to make some improvements. And the thing that people really pick up out of that is that they can bring down all these ITIL terminologies and ITIL frameworks to something really practical. Okay, ITIL talks about priority being a combination of urgency and impact, but that doesn't mean that you need a very complex matrix in each and every situation. In fact, in this simulated environment, we need to narrow it right down to something really simple and practical. And that's what we do. And that's how people experience that in the first round of this game. There's absolute chaos normally. And then they move on through a round of improvement and another round of improvement. And by the third round, suddenly things are quiet in the room. Everybody has a role. Everybody's working hard rather than a couple of people looking at how other people are running around. Everybody has a role. It's all clear. And they're all achieving results. Obviously, being an ITIL simulator, all of this is measured through KPI reports. And you can see in the course of this simulation, you can see how the service level and the KPIs improve with every continual service improvement round. Now, the most important thing is not that. The most important thing is that people walk away with an understanding of how you translate all these so-called best practice models to a real-life situation, and how you need to bring other people into the fold and work together with you to make it work. So this is a great experience for course participants to know what ITIL really means when you apply it in practice. In the simulation, we play out 3 organizations that have a role in the simulator. The first organization is a freight company that needs to haul freight from one location to the other, and their objective is to make money out of that. The second organization makes available the infrastructure that the freight organization uses. Their objective is make sure we have a cost-effective service provision and we support our customer, the freight organization. The third organization is a consultancy/service provider. They provide solutions, intellectual property, etc. Their goal is simply to make lots of money by selling their services. Now, the great learning that you can get out of this, this simulation is that all these 3 organizations need to link into each other using shared processes that obviously are based on ITIL. Now, only when you get that right, only when you get the rules, the procedures, the policies, and the way that people work together right, you actually end up with a win-win. And that win-win is targeted towards the freight business achieving their results, because that's where the real money comes from. But the other providers will also achieve their wins if the freight business is successful. This simulation offers a great experience in which participants experience a service management situation that's not specifically linked to technology or IT, but does exactly demonstrate how you need to manage services and how you need to deliver services and achieve success for all stakeholders. Participants come away with a much clearer understanding and awareness of what it means to make ITIL successful by integrating processes, technology support tools, and especially the people side of IT service management. And they will be able to understand that from a level of senior management, which is included in the simulation, as well as from operational and support staff perspective. The simulation helps to demonstrate how IT service management and ITIL can add value to the customers, as well as to the IT organization, as well as to the individuals, management as well as operational people in the IT services organization. The simulation demonstrates how ITIL and IT service management adds value to the organization, its customers, and its technology department.